Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on a Green Men Gaming Bundle, the Indie.io collection of May 2026. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Immortal Hunters, an RPG beat-em-up that throws you into a dark apocalyptic world where the church has killed God and now faces Khemrid invasion. You take control of one of 4 Immortal Hunters, each with unique abilities, and fight your way through a burning city, uncovering corruption, heresy, and secrets the Cardinals tried to suppress. The game's story is engaging, full of intrigue, unpredictable twists, and morally ambiguous characters, giving you a sense of urgency as you attempt to save humanity. Combat is a central feature, but it often feels clunky and unsatisfying. Enemy variety is limited, which makes battles predictable and repetitive, and hit feedback lacks impact, leaving you feeling detached from the action. On the RPG side, character progression is mostly tied to abilities, health, and resources, offering little in the way of meaningful choices or narrative-driven growth. Solo play can feel tedious, as the game seems primarily designed for co-op, where coordinating abilities and facing hordes together adds the most enjoyment. The art style is consistent and visually appealing, with well-designed environments that convey a bleak, apocalyptic atmosphere. Voice acting and sound design are uneven, sometimes enhancing immersion, other times breaking it. The UI and tutorial have minor issues, and certain mechanics are poorly explained or unintuitive, which can frustrate you in early play sessions. Despite its flaws, Immortal Hunters shows strong potential, especially in cooperative play. If you approach it as a co-op-focused indie with interesting story and solid aesthetic design, there's fun to be had, though solo players may find it lacking polish and depth. With improvements to combat and interface, it could become a standout experience. And number 2 we have Dream Tactics, a captivating deck-building adventure. This game tells the story of Neru, a lazy hero who must save the realm of dreams from the nefarious Dream Eater. Despite its imperfections, Dream Tactics offers a unique and engaging experience that you'll want to add to your gaming library. Dream Tactics is not a roguelike, but don't let that deter you. As you explore various dream worlds, you'll collect a plethora of cards from hidden chests, allowing you to customize each character's deck and recruit new heroes. Your starting team includes Neru, Luna the Bunny Knight, and Sophie the Berserker. As you progress, you'll gather more characters like Ember the Fire Mage and Reggie the Thief, who is one of the few friendly pillows you'll encounter. The game's main activities involve exploring vast dream worlds, battling hordes of sentient pillows in turn-based combat, and defeating key bosses to collect dream fragments. The banter between characters and quirky nature of the pillow enemies add a humorous touch to the game. Pillows come in various classes, from witches and archers to healers and lightning casters, providing diverse combat challenges. Dream Tactics shines in its unique blend of turn-based tactics and deck building. Each character has a distinct deck of cards, and you can share cards between them, allowing for strategic gameplay adjustments. Additionally, the game's equipment system, though complex, adds another layer of depth to character customization. While the game encourages exploration with rewards like buttons, which is the currency, and new cards, it has a few drawbacks. Some battles can feel repetitive, and the game's difficulty may spike unexpectedly. Trap gauntlets, requiring you to navigate hazards, can also be frustrating due to their high risk of failure and lack of mid-gauntlet saves. Despite minor issues, Dream Tactics is a fun, ambitious, and humorous adventure. It offers a surprisingly challenging experience, with successful runs taking over 10 hours. Fans of tactical and deck-building genres will find much to enjoy in this delightful game. And number 3 we have Echoes of the Plum Grove, a farming sim with survival and generational mechanics that takes a bold step away from the genre's usual sunshine and smiles routine. You're not just growing crops, you're building a legacy. The passage of time matters, and yes, death comes for everyone. You start shipwrecked on the island of Honeywood, where survival becomes your top priority. Farming is solid and satisfying, especially with features like composting spoiled food and drying rags to preserve meat and fruit. The charming Paper Mario style visuals pop beautifully, and the thick black outlines make interactive items easy to spot. You'll need to manage hunger and exhaustion, but don't expect a hardcore survival experience. These systems feel more like flavor than true challenges, and while they can be toggled, they rarely affect gameplay meaningfully. Villagers, despite their old school 1700s Massachusetts vibes and quirky lines like fare thee well, feel disappointingly shallow. They age, marry, die, but your connection to them rarely deepens. Quests are random and plentiful, but rarely impactful. You might end up hoarding items in the hope someone asks for them. That said, expanding your farm and watching it thrive through generations is deeply satisfying, even if the characters around you feel like extras in your story. Echoes of the Plum Grove does not nail every idea it introduces, but it brings enough heart and unique flavor to make it stand out. If you want a farming sim that dares to ask, what happens after the harvest? This is worth checking out. And number 4 we have G.I. Joe, Wrath of Cobra. A modern homage to classic belt-scrolling arcade beat-em-ups, delivering the kind of high-octane, side-scrolling action you'd expect from the genre. You step into the shoes of iconic characters like Duke, Roadblock, Scarlet, and Snake Eyes, each with distinct attacks, movement styles, and special abilities that make every playthrough feel unique. As you progress, you face increasingly diverse and challenging waves of Cobra robotic clones, keeping you on your toes throughout each stage. The combat system is intuitive yet satisfying. You can chain light and heavy attacks, block, sidestep, and dash, while also picking up temporary firearms to add variety to encounters. Special moves, such as Snake Eyes summoning his Wolf Timber, offer strategic depth for boss fights and larger enemy groups. You'll need to carefully monitor your special gauge, and use it at the right moment to maximize damage and survival. The game shines in presentation and atmosphere, capturing the over-the-top comic book charm of the G.I. Joe universe. Intro sequences, vignettes, and stage designs are visually engaging, full of humor and classic cartoon bombast. Unlockables and new modes like Boss Rush, Arcade, and Enemy Randomizers offer considerable replay value, encouraging you to explore different strategies and character combinations. While the absence of a grab and throw move slightly limits combat options, it does not hinder the fun. Wrath of Cobra successfully blends nostalgia with modern polish, providing satisfying arcade-style action, fan service for G.I. Joe enthusiasts, and plenty of replayable content. For anyone craving chaotic, colorful, and punchy side-scrolling brawling, this is a must-play. And number 5 we have Dust Fleet, a real-time tactical 4X space strategy game where you take command of a custom-built fleet and dive into the unstable Dust Zone. As humanity faces a looming crisis, it is up to you to manage resources, control strategic sectors, and survive escalating threats in deep space. The game mixes turn-based planning with real-time combat, letting you design ships, harvest resources, and issue tactical commands in a fully 3D battlefield. You'll spend your time securing star systems, upgrading stations, and customizing ships down to their modules and weapons. Want to capture enemy vessels and turn them against their creators? You can do that too. Want to create a fleet of brawlers or snipers? The flexibility is there, and it matters in every battle. While the game evokes the spirit of Homeworld and Empire at War, its 4X layer is lighter with no diplomacy and a simpler tech tree. Sector Assault mode brings randomized star maps and fresh challenges every run, adding decent replayability, especially if you enjoy fine-tuning tactics and experimenting with fleet builds. That said, you may encounter some rough edges. The UI can be clunky, formations are limited, and bugs or strange AI behavior can occasionally get in the way. But the developer is active and clearly listens to the community. If you're a fan of space RTS games with heavy ship customization and strategic depth, Dust Fleet is worth a shot, especially if you're looking for something that scratches that old school space strategy itch. And number 6 we have One More Island. A colonial-themed city builder that puts you in the role of the Queen's governor, tasked with establishing and managing a series of islands in the New World. You'll explore new lands, harvest natural resources, construct production chains, and expand small outposts into bustling colonial metropolises. Each island is procedurally generated with handcrafted elements, giving you the opportunity to optimize your colonies while juggling logistics, trade, and the needs of your workers. The game shines early on, with a charming art style reminiscent of Prison Architect, a catchy soundtrack, and a surprisingly well laid out tutorial that helps you get a handle on supply chains, research tiers, and resource management. You'll find it satisfying to plan your production lines and ship goods between islands, seeing the tangible results of your careful organization. There's a strong addictive loop, as you research new technologies, upgrade workers, and expand to additional islands, giving a sense of tangible progress. However, the game struggles under its own systems as you advance. Late game management becomes frustratingly micromanaged, workers may die unexpectedly, supply chains may break, and resources get mismanaged due to clunky UI and pathfinding issues. Taxes and research scaling further complicate matters, and minor bugs, from frozen autosave screens to misbehaving workers, add extra headaches. These issues can make late-game expansion tedious rather than rewarding, forcing you to meticulously plan around limitations rather than creatively solving problems. Despite these flaws, One More Island offers a solid early to mid-game experience for fans of strategy and resource management. If you enjoy careful planning, spreadsheet-level optimization, and the satisfaction of seeing a colonial empire grow, you'll get hours of engagement, but expect late-game frustrations to test your patience. At number 7 we have Everwarder, a tower defense roguelike that mixes survival and strategy in a uniquely tense way. You face a procedurally generated world blanketed by darkness, and every time you touch it, new enemies emerge to attack your crystal, the one thing you must protect. Each run begins with your crystal and limited energy, forcing you to decide how to expand. Do you cautiously clear darkness, gather energy, and build defenses carefully? Or do you take risks, searching quickly for ancient structures and powerful artifacts to shift the tide? The game thrives on its blend of experimentation and pressure. As enemies scale in power with each passing second, so too can you, by collecting artifacts, upgrading defenders, and unlocking permanent boosts through minerals gained across runs. This creates a constant push and pull between long-term planning and short-term survival. Failures are not wasted, they fuel growth, ensuring every attempt feels like progress. What makes Everwarder stand out is its replayability. Every run feels different thanks to procedural maps, randomized artifacts, and strategic synergies between upgrades. Sometimes you'll stumble into powerful builds, other times you'll scrape by with careful planning, but each session teaches you more about the mechanics. That said, progression can feel grind-heavy, and luck plays a big role in whether artifacts align with your strategy. Still, the atmosphere, music, and creative design give the experience a meditative yet thrilling edge. If you enjoy roguelites or tower defense, Everwarder offers a fresh, challenging twist you won't soon forget. At number 8 we have Troublemaker, a wild ride through the halls of high school, blending juvenile delinquency with Yakuza-style combat, and a healthy dose of cringe-worthy humor. From the get-go, you're thrust into the shoes of Buddy, a troublemaker with a knack for brawling and a new school to navigate. As you meet a cast of archetypal characters and dive headfirst into the chaotic world of teenage gang warfare, it becomes clear the Troublemaker is anything but ordinary. The game's story, while utterly nonsensical, somehow manages to captivate with its sheer absurdity. Encouraging gangs to battle it out in school corridors might not make much sense, but it sets the stage for some hilariously over-the-top encounters and meme-laden dialogue that'll leave you both cringing and laughing in equal measure. Combat, reminiscent of Yakuza mechanics, is serviceable but flawed, offering repetitive gameplay and occasional glitches that only add to the game's charm. Despite its shortcomings, there's a certain joy in unleashing Buddy's sick moves on unsuspecting opponents and reveling in the chaos that ensues. Visually, Troublemaker is a mixed bag, with outdated graphics and occasional glitches, marring an otherwise serviceable presentation. Yet somehow, these flaws only add to the game's quirky appeal, cementing its status as a guilty pleasure for those willing to overlook its shortcomings. Troublemaker is far from perfect, but is undeniably entertaining in its own bizarre way. If you're willing to embrace the madness and overlook its flaws, you'll find yourself immersed in a hilariously enjoyable experience that's sure to leave a lasting impression. At number 9 we have To the Rescue, a dog shelter simulator that puts you in charge of rescuing, caring for, and rehoming a variety of adorable dogs. You'll manage a shelter, feed and bathe the dogs, administer vaccines, and give them playtime while balancing their happiness and health. Each dog has unique traits and preferences, and adopters come with specific requests, so you'll need to carefully match dogs to potential homes. The goal is simple: finding every dog a loving forever home, while expanding and improving your shelter. The game shines in its charm and accessibility. Its cutesy graphics, relaxing soundtrack, and cheerful animations make it easy to fall into the satisfying routine of caring for dogs. The foster network system is a highlight, letting you place harder to adopt dogs in temporary homes, reducing your shelter load while still progressing their adoption. Watching your shelter thrive and dogs find homes provides a surprisingly rewarding loop, and the core gameplay encourages repeated engagement without overwhelming complexity. That said, you'll encounter frustrations. Bugs persist, such as helpers getting stuck in kennels, grunts not always delivering rewards, and saved dogs sometimes resetting unexpectedly. Shelter expansion is limited, and story mode is short, acting more like a guided tutorial than a full narrative. You may also find some gameplay mechanics, like play areas or certain adoption strategies, largely optional, which can diminish challenge. Despite these flaws, To the Rescue offers a relaxing, addictive, and heartwarming experience for dog lovers. If you're willing to overlook minor bugs and embrace its repetitive, care-focused loop, you'll find it an engaging and rewarding shelter simulator. At number 10 we have Blood and Zombies, a first-person wave defense shooter where you face a relentless zombie apocalypse. You control one of 4 survivors, tasked with building up a base, placing defenses, and mowing down hordes of mutated zombies. At the center of it, this game blends tower defense mechanics with FPS action. You'll need to balance between building your base, deploying turrets, and picking off zombies with a variety of weapons. It is a straightforward concept, with dozens of enemies, some even wielding flamethrowers or guns, adding layers of strategy as waves progress. However, Blood and Zombies struggles with execution. The base building system feels awkward, with object placement often becoming a hassle. The game's simplicity, which should be its strength, quickly leads to repetitiveness. Levels are confined, and while the weapon variety is decent, saving up for stronger weapons can feel punishing, as the in-game economy does not scale well with the increasing difficulty. Visually, it is not impressive. Graphical glitches and janky animations detract from the experience. The lack of story progression or meaningful permanent upgrades makes it hard to stay invested. Still, if you're looking for a basic zombie slaying experience with friends, there's some fun to be had, especially in a bundle. Blood and Zombies has its moments, but feels incomplete with missed potential. For die-hard zombie fans, it's worth a try, but don't expect a polished or deep experience. At number 11 we have Symphony of War, Nephilim Saga, a strategy JRPG that offers a fresh take on the genre. The game introduces clever game design and engaging squad-based customization system. Each squad in the game consists of up to 9 units placed on a tactical grid, and instead of focusing on individual characters, the game emphasizes the overall strategy and management of your army. The customization options are extensive, allowing you to tweak the composition, class, and leadership of your squads. You can recruit promising rookies and mercenaries, level them up, and guide them through a tree of connected classes. The game encourages exploration and experimentation, as you can freely adjust the squad composition without penalties. The customization is limited by the gold you earn, which is used to acquire new units and artifacts. In terms of gameplay, Symphony of War offers grid-based combat where each squad's movement and abilities depend on its composition. Terrain, unit types, and morale play crucial roles in battle, and there are various tactical choices to consider. The game also introduces interesting mechanics like forcing enemies to surrender, adding depth to the gameplay experience. While the story may be generic and the characterization lacking, the game's core focus on strategic gameplay and customization make it a must-play for fans of the genre. With bright pixel art, a cheerful soundtrack, and a decent in-game reference manual, Symphony of War is accessible and enjoyable. Its novel tactical mechanics and extensive squad customization make it an incredible strategy RPG. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is a total mixed bag. If you're just trying to secure tier 1, it's an absolute speedrun value solely for Symphony of War. That alone is a certified winner for a single buck. But if you try to max out the higher tiers for $14, the loot pool gets way too chaotic. With random genre variety, duplicate keys glitch by support, and mid-reviews, you're better off skipping the grind. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.